Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into the life of one of history's most legendary figures, Alexander the Great. We're talking about a king, a conqueror, a cultural icon whose life was so action-packed, so improbable, it makes Game of Thrones look like a quiet night in by comparison. Join me as we unearth 10 fascinating facts about Alexander's incredible journey, from his meteoric rise to power to his lasting legacy that continues to shape our world today. Let's journey back to 356 BCE to Pella, the capital of the Kingdom of Macedon. This ancient city, nestled in the heart of Greece, was a bustling hub of culture, politics, and power. Imagine the cobblestone streets, the grand palaces, and the vibrant marketplaces filled with the chatter of merchants and citizens. It was here that Alexander the Great was born. No ordinary baby, mind you, but the son of King Philip II of Macedon, a powerful ruler in his own right. Philip was a king with grand ambitions, a man who had already transformed Macedon into a formidable military power. His vision extended far beyond the borders of his kingdom. And then there was Olympias, Alexander's mother, a woman of fierce ambition and lineage tracing back to Achilles himself. Talk about genes. Olympias was not just a queen. She was a force of nature, deeply spiritual and intensely driven. She believed in the divine destiny of her son and instilled in him a sense of purpose and greatness from a very young age. From the start, Alexander was surrounded by power, by ambition, by the stories of heroes. The tales of Greek mythology, the legends of gods and warriors were the bedtime stories that shaped his early years. These stories were not just entertainment, they were lessons in valor, strategy, and leadership. His education, none other than the philosopher Aristotle himself. Aristotle, one of the greatest minds of all time, was tasked with tutoring the young prince. Under his guidance, Alexander studied philosophy, science, medicine, and literature. Aristotle's teachings went beyond mere academics. He taught Alexander to think critically, to question, and to seek knowledge relentlessly. Imagine being a teenager debating logic and ethics with one of the greatest minds of all time. These intellectual sparring sessions were crucial in shaping Alexander's analytical skills and his ability to think on his feet. They prepared him for the complex decisions he would face as a leader. But it wasn't just book learning. Alexander's education was a blend of intellectual and physical training. Philip II made sure Alexander was schooled in the art of war, in strategy, in leadership. From a young age, Alexander was exposed to military tactics, battlefield strategies, and the rigors of soldiering. He learned to ride, to fight, and to lead men into battle. This wasn't just a prince. This was a prince being groomed to rule the world. Every lesson, every story, every training session was a step towards his destiny. Alexander's early life was a perfect blend of intellectual rigor and physical prowess, setting the stage for his future conquests and his place in history as one of the greatest military leaders of all time. Picture this, it's 336 BCE. Alexander is just 20 years old. His father, Philip II, is assassinated. Suddenly the throne is empty, and there's young Alexander, thrust into a viper's nest of courtly intrigue, rivals and enemies, both foreign and domestic. What does he do? He doesn't crumble, he doesn't hesitate, he seizes the moment. He consolidates power, ruthlessly putting down rebellions, securing his borders and showing everyone that this wasn't just his father's throne, it was his destiny. And this, my friends, was just the beginning. Now, the Persian Empire, that was the big leagues. Spanning 3 continents, it was a colossal force, a civilization that had thrived for centuries. Ruled by Darius III, it dwarfed any kingdom the Greeks had ever encountered. The empire was a marvel of administration, culture, and military might. Everyone thought Alexander was crazy, a young king with audacious dreams, challenging an empire that seemed invincible. He was outnumbered, out-resourced, facing an enemy that had stood for centuries. The Persian army was vast, disciplined, and well-equipped, but Alexander, he had a secret weapon, a combination of military genius, unwavering ambition, and a charisma that inspired his troops to follow him to the ends of the earth. His strategies were innovative, his leadership unparalleled. Battle after battle, Alexander outmaneuvered, outfought, and outthought the Persians. His tactics were revolutionary, often catching the enemy off guard. Granicus River, Issus. These were not just battles, they were masterclasses in military strategy. Each victory was a testament to his brilliance, Gaugamela. These weren't just battles, they were masterclasses in military strategy. The Battle of Gaugamela was the pinnacle, a decisive encounter that showcased Alexander's tactical genius. And with each victory, Alexander's legend grew. His conquests reshaped the ancient world, leaving a legacy that would be remembered for millennia. The young king from Macedonia had achieved the impossible, forever changing the course of history. Chapter 4. The Founding of Alexandria. Alexander wasn't just a conqueror, he was a builder, a visionary. As he moved through the Persian Empire, he didn't just raise cities, he founded them. And not just any cities, but Alexandria's, strategically placed, beautifully designed centers of trade, culture, and learning. The most famous one, Alexandria in Egypt, became a beacon of knowledge, home to the Great Library and the Lighthouse of Alexandria, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Alexander understood that true power wasn't just about conquering land, it was about conquering minds. Chapter 5, Egypt and becoming Pharaoh. Imagine being declared a living god. That's what happened to Alexander in Egypt. The Egyptians, tired of Persian rule, welcomed him as a liberator. They crowned him Pharaoh, the divine son of Amun-Ra. Now, Alexander could have easily dismissed this as some local custom, but he understood the power of symbolism. He embraced Egyptian traditions, even consulted the oracle of Amun at Siwa Oasis. This wasn't just about respect. It was about solidifying his rule, showing his subjects that he wasn't just another foreign king, he was their god king. Chapter 6. The blending of cultures and Hellenization. Alexander's empire was vast, stretching from Greece to India. He could have imposed Greek culture by force, but he was smarter than that. He encouraged the blending of cultures, the adoption of Greek language, philosophy, and art, a process we now call Hellenization. He married Roxana, a Persian noblewoman, and encouraged his soldiers to do the same. He incorporated Persian units into his army. He understood that a diverse empire, united by shared values and culture, was a strong empire. Chapter 7. The Campaign in India. This chapter delves into one of the most ambitious and challenging phases of Alexander the Great's conquests. Most people would have been satisfied with conquering Persia. Not Alexander. He wanted more. His insatiable desire for expansion drove him to look beyond the known world. He set his sights on India, a land of mystery and untold riches. The Indian subcontinent, with its vast landscapes and diverse cultures, was an alluring target for the young conqueror. He crossed the Indus River, fought the fierce King Porus and his war elephants in the Battle of the Hydaspes. This battle was one of the most challenging he had ever faced. He won, of course, but at a cost. The victory came with heavy casualties and immense fatigue among his troops. His men, exhausted from years of campaigning, pleaded with him to turn back. They had been away from home for too long, and the endless battles had taken their toll. And for once, Alexander listened. He realized that pushing further could lead to mutiny and the collapse of his army. He may have been ambitious, but he wasn't heartless. He understood the importance of his men's loyalty and well-being. He turned his army around, beginning the long journey back home. This decision marked a significant moment in his leadership, showcasing his ability to balance ambition with compassion. Chapter 8. In 323 BCE, at the height of his power, Alexander fell ill in Babylon. Some say it was malaria, others poison. The debate rages on even today. What we do know is that the world's greatest conqueror, a man who had seemed invincible, was dying. He was just 32 years old. His death threw his vast empire into chaos. His generals, the Diadochi, fought amongst themselves for control, dividing the empire into successor states. The Hellenistic world was born, but at the cost of Alexander's dream of a unified empire. Chapter 9. Though Alexander's empire fractured, his impact on the world was just beginning. The seeds of Hellenistic culture he had sown took root and flourished. Greek language, art, philosophy, and science spread throughout the Mediterranean and beyond. The world witnessed a golden age of intellectual and artistic innovation, from the poetry of Callimachus to the scientific discoveries of Archimedes. Alexander may have conquered with armies, but it was his legacy of cultural exchange that truly changed the world. Chapter 10. Over 2,000 years after his death, Alexander the Great continues to fascinate and inspire. He's a figure of legend, of ambition, of boundless energy. Was he a hero or a villain, a visionary or a ruthless conqueror? The answer, as with most things in history, is complex. But one thing is certain. Alexander's impact on the course of Western civilization is undeniable. He changed the face of the ancient world, leaving behind a legacy of cultural exchange, military innovation, and a thirst for knowledge that continues to shape our world today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about Alexander the Great, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more historical insights. Who knows what other fascinating figures from the past we'll explore next? Until then, keep those minds curious and remember, the universe is full of wonders waiting to be discovered.